knowledge of Bhakti Sutra, this knowledge about love is so essential. Before people get married, they should know this. Otherwise, what happens is, usually they fall in love and then they get married, then they start demanding each other to prove their love for them, for each other, and trying to prove one's love, they become so artificial, it's more even doubtful. It creates more doubt. Suppose a woman demands her husband, do you really love me? Show me. Really prove to me. You come from the office in time, or take me out, take me for picnic, do this and that. It's such a big burden. A man has to prove himself in the world everywhere. When he comes home, at home also he has to prove he is really good and he is loving. It becomes a headache, isn't it? How long he can do? He does for some time and then he gets fed up, he wants to run away. Right? At least at home he should not be asked to prove himself. He can relax. He and she both, it's the same story. Both ways. Love is our nature. And all other negative qualities in you are offspring of love. Jealousy comes to you because you love somebody so much. Greed is because you love material things more than human beings. You love matter, money too much, that is called greed. You love your own praise and your status, that is called arrogance. Isn't it so? You love a certain part of the body too much, it is called lust. So, obsession, greed, anger. Anger is you love perfection. So what comes out of you is anger. Because you can't tolerate imperfection, so you get angry. So they're all offsprings of love. If there is no love, you will never have jealousy, you will never have any of these other problems. But now we don't want greed, jealousy, lust or obsession or arrogance, but we want love. What is the way out? Wisdom, knowledge. Wisdom. With wisdom and knowledge, love remains pure. It's like putting preservative in love, so that love doesn't get distorted and becomes anger. Love remains love. Yeah? Compassion is one of the flavors of the love. Compassion, in fact, is an action for those who are miserable. Compassion disappears if there is no one miserable. For compassion to exist in life, you have to have someone who is suffering or miserable. And there are plenty of people who are suffering and miserable. But for love, that's not a requirement. So there are four important moods or modes of mind that we need to keep, or attitudes that we need to have in our life. One is friendliness. But friendliness towards whom? Those who are happy. Those who are happy, those who are enjoying their life, with them we need to be friendly. Those who are enjoying having a good time, you can't be compassionate to them. Right? How you should be? You should be friendly towards them. Friendliness. Those who are on cloud 9. We have to be friendly. When you are friendly with those who are happy, then you will avoid jealousy coming into your system. And compassionate towards those who are miserable. Don't be friendly with people who are miserable. Got it? Because you will start sailing in the same boat. If you are in the same boat, you can't save them. So friendliness is no good to be with people who are miserable. What is good with the people who are miserable? Compassion. If your friend is miserable, if you are friendly with them at that time, then you will also become miserable. If they are angry, you also become angry. But if you are compassionate with those who are miserable, you will save your mind. That's why the karma principle holds very good. That is their karma, they are suffering, but let me be kind to them. Yeah? Compassion. And then people who are doing good work, meritorious work, who are progressing in their life, when you see that, when you hear that, you should feel happy. Not try to pull their leg down. Often it happens in the world that whenever you see someone progressing, from your level they have gone little higher, you try to either criticize them, blame them, or pull their leg down. Journalists are not bothered about someone who is having a problem, who is below them. Their problem is people whom they consider they are above them. If they are making good progress, they want to find some fault in them and bring them down. Wow. See full moon fireworks. Just for you. So when you see someone has more progressed or doing good work, they try to criticize them. You know? See, I'll give you an example. One of our teacher met with a journalist and showed them all the work that we do, planted trees in so many places and all over India and all over all other parts of the world. 10.6 million people participated. I mean, 10.5 million people is a big number. Took pledge for 55 million trees, 36 million already planted. When this was presented to some committee, they said, but you haven't done anything in Nagaland. My dear, Nagaland, that province in India has already too many forests, lots of trees are there. There's no need to plant, but you don't see there is planted in so many places. Say, no, but you didn't do anything there in the Nagaland. What did Guruji do in Nagaland? Did he go there? Not being happy with the good work is a problem to the person in himself. Not for the other who is doing good work, but to oneself. Because you try to find fault in everything. You plant so many trees. Oh, they're planting so many trees wanting publicity for it. Oh my God. We have enough publicity. We don't need any publicity. We are doing the work because for the love of it. This doesn't get into the head of the person. Oh, the publicity. That's why they're planting trees now. Started a new thing. As if yoga is not enough. What do you call these minds? You know, there is a term in Bhagavad Gita, it's called asuya. In Sanskrit, there is a term called asuya. Asuya means intolerance towards good work. Intolerance towards good work, so trying to find fault in anything. This happens with the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law sometimes. In India there is a proverb that says the daughter-in-law who is not liked by the mother-in-law, she finds that even if she serves yogurt, there is stone in yogurt too. You know, if you don't like somebody and they serve you yogurt, you find, oh, there is stone in the yogurt. That means you find fault in them. Don't see the good side of the person. You know, everything there is something wrong. That is called asuya. And when we have that mentality of fault finding, we cannot progress in meditation, in knowledge, in wisdom. So Lord Krishna says to Arjuna, you are anasuya. Anasuya means one who is not prejudiced, one who is not trying to find fault in everything. All the prophets had this problem. People tried to find fault in them. They didn't see the good work they did. Same was the problem with Lord Krishna. So many people trying to find fault in him, in his actions. So he told Arjuna, I am giving you this highest knowledge because you are not trying to find fault in me. Your nature is not that one of that. Trying to pick on things, pick on people. See the good side of it. So with people who are doing good work in the world, we should just be happy about them. And those who are doing sinful work, in our mind the attitude should be that of ignore. Mind, the attitude is that of ignore. See, if someone is, in spite of you doing all good things to them, still if they don't behave well with you, it is their problem. It's not your problem. You know, if the mother-in-law is still not behaving well with you, it is her problem. You don't invite that and keep it in your mind. The same with the daughter-in-law too, or husband, wife, or any other relation with your neighbor. If your neighbor is nasty for everything, if the neighbor thinks every time you sit for meditation, that's the time they put the radio or television very loud, try to disturb you. I know it's happening with some of you. The neighbor, they find out what time you really want that quietness, put loud music. So when they do things that are not correct, your attitude should be of ignoring them. When you ignore, your mind becomes stable and strong. Then your action can be one of that correctiveness. How to correct that then? That you can think. But if you are emotionally upset, then your mind stops thinking some good ideas, better ideas, then your behavior indicates that you want them to change because it's inconvenient to you. It will never happen. If you want to teach someone a lesson, we usually say that when we are so angry, I want to teach them a lesson. It never happens because you are doing it with anger. Who can teach a real lesson is one who has that compassion. One who says, look my dear, what you are doing is not good for you. It's going to hurt you. So don't do it. Then they listen. Then it touches their heart. Then they listen. But if you say, what you are doing is hurting me, that's why you should stop doing it, they're not going to stop doing it. You have to learn a lesson saying, come what may, I will not let myself get hurt. If someone is blaming or being nasty, I'm just going to be compassionate. It's her problem or his problem. It's all inside there, boiling, their whole, it's just coming up, so what we can do? Don't welcome their negativity into your system. This is where you have to shield your mind, not to get affected by others' negative emotions. We need to save our mind. We say save the planet, save the tree, save the culture, save this, save that. But nobody talks about save the mind. I think they have left that job for us to do. We have to go with the slogan, save your mind at all costs. And these are the 4 ways. Ignoring the sinful action, being happy about the good and meritorious action of a person. When people are miserable, being compassionate towards them. And when people are enjoying and happy, are progressing in their life, being friendly with them. Having a sense of friendship with them. My own friend is progressing, a sense of belongingness with them. Someone dear to you, if they progress in life, doesn't it make you happy? It does. So that attitude, so your close friend gets selected for whatever, Miss Universe or champion of hockey or something like that. You feel happy, my friend became the champion hockey or won the gold medal in Olympics, long jump, or some 1,000-meter race. So you feel proud and happy. That sense, I said, of happiness, of compassion, of joy, protects the mind. So Lord Maharishi Patanjali, the saint Patanjali, gave the sutras in the Yoga Sutras, how mind should be protected. Maitri Karuna Mudito Pekshanam Sukha Dukkha Punya Vishayana Bhavana Chitta Prasad. Your mind will float in grace if you can have this 4 attitude. Not just go bang, bang, bang. No, you are cheater, you are bad, you are this, you are that. Well, my dear, relax. Others may be a cheater and you are an angry fool. If you are an angry donkey barking all the time, you are no better than a cheetah, because you are also spreading negativity in a different fashion. So that Maharishi Patanjali says, when you have these 4 different type of attitude, and relax, knowing that everything will be taken care. It makes a big difference in our life. So we will save our mind. Otherwise, when you see or wake up and see in the world there is corruption rampant throughout the world. Even in this country, Indonesia, there is corruption. This corruption has entered almost every field, including religion. Many religious people try to convert from one religion to another by giving money and soaps and this and that, just to increase one's number. And the so-called religious priests and leaders, you know what's happening, you read in the newspaper. If you think all these and put them in your mind and you become so angry and agitated, you can never have peace. When you can never have peace, you can't do anything that's creative, anything that would bring peace. Only a peaceful person can bring peace to others. An agitated person cannot bring peace to others, peace to the world. Isn't that so? If you have, you can give what you have. If you are free, liberated, you can liberate others. If you yourself suffering of bondage, how can you liberate others? Isn't that so? So, how to make our mind strong and stable and pure and clear is having this 4 attitude. Then Chitta Prasadana, our mind will be filled with grace. And it is not difficult. Like when you do a mistake, you expect others to excuse you, don't you? Because the mistake you did happened in an unconscious state of mind. Suppose you do one small mistake and you also ask forgiveness with others. And so there are some people who stand on their toe and say, no, I'll never forgive you all your life. What you are going to do? What you will do? Suppose someone invited you for a party at their home and you couldn't turn up there. You said you will come and you didn't come. Or you went late. Suppose they are angry on that. And if they hold on to this anger for all their life, you are at loss, isn't it? Loss of words. What is it you can do? A small thing, they made too big out of it. Mountain out of a mouse hole. What is that? You made nothing. A mountain out of nothing. We need to check. That's why this silence program, meditations, all help us to introspect, to reflect. How are we living our life? Are we so rigid that everybody wants to run away from us? Are we so stiff that it becomes miserable for others to live around? How many people feel comfort around us or in your company? You need to find us out. Are you that type of pleasant, a Priyadarshi, pleasant personality that everyone feels at home and comfortable around you? That's what is enlightenment is. everyone feels at home and comfortable. And to what degree it has manifested in you? To what degree? Turn back and see how much it was in the past and how much it is now. How much you were unlikable in the past, how much people have started liking you. You don't have to make an effort to make people like you. That is another problem. No. But are you being pleasant? Even when you have to point out someone's mistake, you can do it in a very skillful manner. You know? Suppose you have to work with a boss who is really foolish, stupid and nasty. How do you work with them? With skill. You can tell your boss, you are the best, you know everything. I have a little idea, but maybe you know it better. Maybe it is good or maybe it is not good. Maybe you know it better. Then the boss will say, okay, yeah, what you say is correct. I like your idea. Your very attitude, I will say, or if you come with an attitude, you don't know, I give you a better idea, you better take it from me. The boss is not going to take it from you. He wants to ascertain his position as boss. You are shaking his very position and then trying to give an idea to him and make an action come out of it. It's not going to work. Do you see what I'm saying? I tell you, people are so insecure. They're insecure about money, they're insecure about relationship, they're insecure about their health, they're insecure about their friendship, they're insecure about their prestige or status in society. They're insecure from every angle. They're insecure about their relationship. You live in such a world, you live in a place where it's a mental case. It's a gone case. You hardly find people who are really healthy, who are established in self. You know, here in Bali, when you meet anyone, they will say, Om Swasti Rastu. Swasti Rastu. This is a beautiful greeting. It's an ancient Vedic greeting, Hindu greeting. Swasti means health. May health be upon you. And Swasti really means one who is established in the self. It's a spiritual health. Means your body, mind and spirit, everything is in its place. Like your liver should function properly, not malfunction. Heart should beat the right beat, not less or not more. Your brain should be actually perceiving things which is relating to this reality, not something different. So when all your organs are doing their job, they are in their place. Similarly, when you are established in your true nature, your spirit, that is called Swasti. Swa means self, Asti means established in it. So true health is not just body, mind and yourself, your spirit, all in their correct place. So it's a Om Swasti Rastu. Greeting is, may you be in yourself. May you be in your best of health, spiritually, physically and mentally, emotionally. So when you see people are not that centered in their life, the small things can trigger them off. Small thing can trigger and put them off track. Isn't that so? And you have been doing that also. Some small comment, somebody criticized you, and that's it, you went off, and then went off not just for one day, but months together. You refused to see them, refused to talk to them. My goodness, what a havoc you had created. So what? If someone says you look like a ghost, stand up and say, yeah, I'm a holy ghost. My dear, have some humor. Humor can sail you through all this rough weather. Have some fun. You can create the same situation to become such a misery for you and others, or make it into a fun. I heard one gentleman, one minister in India, he said, all these beautiful women are getting married to fools. Or all the beautiful women have their husband as fools. So his wife was next to him, said, don't keep complimenting me all day. Enough is enough. You have complimented me enough. Instead of saying to her husband, why you are keep looking at all the beautiful women and this and blah 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 blah, this you don't think I am beautiful, and I said, stop complimenting me. So when you tell people, when you ask them, why do you love me so much, their love in them increases. But if you tell them, do you really love me? You don't love me. If you really prove to me, really tell me, then you are creating a situation which is so heavy, so unpleasant. Got it? There are two secrets, one for men, one for women. The secret for men is first women, ladies first. The secret for ladies is never step on the ego of your man, Never step on the ego of your man. Never step on the ego of your man, because he will be nothing without ego. The whole world can tell him you have no brains, but as a wife you should never tell him you are useless, you have no brains. You should tell him you are the best man in the whole world. You have the greatest of the brains. Just the fact you don't use it doesn't mean you don't have it. That you can say quietly. But you should always praise man at home. Don't blame him and put him under your feet and squash him. He will become like a squash. Never try to squash his ego. No ego busting process for your husband. So when he's tired of proving himself to the whole world, he comes home, at least he finds some rest, some peace. He shouldn't prove himself at home also. Okay? Always pump the ego of man. Now a secret for women. Are you ready for it? And for men. Never step on the emotions of a woman. Give her the freedom to participate in religious or spiritual programs. Don't say, hey, don't go, don't do this, don't do that. When she wants, and never ever say anything against her family. She may complain to you about her father, mother, brother, sister, but you better don't participate. If you say, yes, yes, your mother is nasty, the next moment she will turn against you. She will switch the party. She will change over sides. It doesn't take much time. A few minutes she will change her sides. So, never ever say anything negative about her family. She is much attached to her family as well. And when she wants to go for shopping, don't say no, just give her the credit card. See how many are so happy with that. Okay, and this is the way to keep peace at home. I suppose, I have no idea. But just observing, you know. So, keeping our mind, saving our mind at all costs is necessary. The other day I was in Germany and a couple came to me, the father and the couple, husband and wife, they both were so unhappy, miserable. He said, you know, all my life I did everything for my son and he hates me. I don't know what to do, Guruji. He hates me to the core. And he was so miserable. And they don't get along. The father and the son doesn't get along at all. And the lady is in between. She doesn't know what to do. Caught up in between, miserable on both sides. So I told that lady, why you bring the son to me next day. So she brought the son. I just told him one thing. Look, your father is old. Do you want him to die miserable? Why don't you do one or two nice gestures to him? You cannot change him. The way he has been all his life. He is 60, 70 years old now. You expect him to change? He cannot. And do you want him to breathe his last breath miserably? Why can't you make him happy? Can you do that for me? I told him. Just do something to make him happy. Can you do that? Just one gesture, two gestures. And the boy looked at me and said, yes, Guruji, I will. He realized suddenly, you know, so your harsh words just hurt him. What does he want from you? Just some good words, sometime. So he was coming from somewhere, and to his father's surprise, next day he went to pick him up in the airport and brought him home. And the next week when the couple came to me, said, Guruji, it's a miracle. He has been so nice, you know. He said some good words and he was kind to me, and suddenly that burden in the heart got uplifted. That emotional weight that was weighing on his head. Whole family became happy. Each one is right in their own place, but we forget we live in a society, in an atmosphere with differences. Have you heard about this research that came in the newspapers? A scientist from California and one scientist from Russia, Moscow. They were working for 20 years on it, on the topic of happiness. And what they found out was, if a friend of a friend of a friend of yours becomes happy, that happiness travels to you and you suddenly become happy for no apparent reason. A friend of a friend of a friend of yours becomes happy and you become happy as though you got $5,000 in your pocket. Suddenly somebody puts $5,000. So that 20% of that happiness comes to you. That you may not even know that person. So we are living in a collective consciousness. We are enveloped by a consciousness which is collective. That's why it's necessary to have satsangs. Many people join together and do breathing, meditate together, create a community, because that increases the vibration in the whole atmosphere. You know? And that's like a shield around us. In the Sanskrit term it's called kavach, an armor. An armor is to protect us. Group meditation, service projects, all this is part of, is essential in life. So next question. What's the time? 9 o'clock? 9:15? Oh, then tomorrow we'll take that. What is the phrase, everything is in everything? When they want to check your blood, they just take one little drop of blood. And with just one drop of blood, they can find out how much sugar you have in your whole body. Correct? One little DNA is just a drop of saliva. From a saliva they can code your whole body, what is in any part of the body. So, everything is in everything. How your liver functions, how your pancreas functions, how your kidney functions, how your brain is functioning, how your heart is functioning, how is your everything, tissues are functioning, nerves are functioning, everything can be detected by one drop of saliva or one drop of blood. And in one human DNA, you can virtually create every animal possible on the planet. Every creature can be created from one human DNA. Did you know about this? How many of you didn't know? Raise your hand. Oh. The scientists say from one human DNA, it has all the chain of all other animals in it. You can create an elephant out of you, a donkey out of you, a rabbit out of you or your DNA. You can virtually make a crow to a mosquito to an elephant. Even hippo. So there is a hippo hiding inside you. Hippopotamus. But inside a hippo there is no human being. A human They haven't yet discovered that from a hippopotamus DNA you can create a human being. That they haven't said yet. Maybe. So modern science and ancient knowledge have met already. They don't need to even meet. They have already met because they are in the same boat. They say the same thing. The most ancient Vedic knowledge says absolutely the same thing. There is one Dr. Dur from Germany. He's traveling around the world and talking, giving lectures about how everything is nothing. That the whole universe is nothing. What you think as a solid substance, he says this is nothing. This is not solid. It just appears to be solid. If you hear him, people think either he is crazy or he is a Vedantist or a Buddhist. He says that, when I give my talks, people think I am a Buddhist, I am talking Buddhism. But he says this is a fact. And he gives all scientific explanation, detail. How we say this is a paper. The paper is made up of atoms, particles. Really, if you go into the atom and subatomic particle, the particles don't exist. They are just wave function. They are waves. And you go deep inside the waves, even they don't exist at all. There is nothing. And it is startling to hear the same truth, the Vedantic truth, which has been there for thousands of years, millions of years, from a scientist. So that's why I declare that they have met already. The knowledge has come into a full cycle. From subjective analysis, the ancient rishis, they found out the truth. And from objective analysis, the scientists found out what is the truth. And they ultimately met in the same thing. So, today there is no chance for an atheist to exist at all. Atheists were hanging in between this. Now the circle is so complete, atheists have no place now. No honest place. You cannot be honest and say I am an atheist. It's a big dishonesty, calling oneself an atheist, or blindness. Okay, that much enough for today. Tomorrow we'll see. Tonight when you go to bed, just drop all that is bothering you. No, you are free. If you are not free today, you can never be free anytime. Don't expect your freedom to come to you after 5 years, 10 years, after 20 years when you become old and all your responsibilities are over. You should wake up and say, today I am free. Tonight I am free. Everything is designed, everything is programmed, everything is going to happen the way it's going to happen. And I am free today. Okay? This is the homework. How many birthdays here? Any birthdays today? No birthdays today. Jai Jai Radha Ramaya Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramaya Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramaya Hari Bol, Hari Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramaya Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramaya Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha. Whose birthday? Myra's birthday. Okay, come. Ramana Hari Bol, Hari Hari Bol. Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Raman 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 Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha